This policy will be enforced in all events moving forward. Thank you, Pittsburgh County Wellness Center Management. Now, would you all please rise and remove your hats for the playing of Wool Canada.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to beautiful Pictou County, Nova Scotia. You're watching the Phil Herod Cup playoffs here on High Button Sports, round 2, game number 4, in this best of 7 series between the Steele Subaru and the Weeks U18 Majors. The Subaru have a 2-1 series lead after yesterday's victory over the Weeks at this very rink. A bit of an offensive outburst for the Dartmouth-based team. They scored 7 goals on Jared Sorrendo, who will continue to start in net for the Weeks. He has not left the crease yet for the Pictou County squad, and neither has Will Cole in this series for the Subs. Same 2 goaltenders here in Game 4. The Subs will be without their captain. Dylan Poplinski is serving a suspension, so they'll have to dig deep into their bag to find some depth. As you can see, Ryder McQueen lining up at left wing on the far side. He is the active captain with the tape on his jersey. And we are underway here in game number 4. That's quickly going to move in the zone. Frazier will chip it in deep. Ethan Frazier had a hat trick in yesterday's game. He scored all 3 goals for the Weeks and their loss here at home. And there's a early hit as the Subarus start with their energy line. There's a shot towards the goal. Cole makes the save. Didn't know he had the puck in front of him. Here's Owen Sparks. That's going to be played out to center. Sullivan back to retriever, the captain for the Weeks. Plays it to the middle off the stick of Frazier. Normore will take over. Normore up for Sparks, who takes a hit at center ice from Sullivan. That'll be taken into the zone. Here is Normore over to Ben Henry. Henry will have to have himself a game here as the Subs are without a left-handed defenseman, and he is one of those. Here's Cole over to Normore. Normore will go off the wall. It's going to be chipped ahead off the stick of Max Bryan, as that's going to be turned over, but able to get back is McLean. He'll get possession for the Subs once again. We're 1 minute into game number 4. That'll be chipped into the zone as Williams gets a piece of Bryan, who is flying his way into the zone. Here's Pugsley. Cole Pugsley plays over to Lawrence Williams, the top rookie defenseman in the league this regular season, the Scott D. Memorial Trophy winner. Here's Williams again. He'll send it on goal as Cole will make the save and play the puck over to Liam Duffy as defenseman. Here is Duffy behind his own net. Duffy looking for an option up ice. He'll go off the wall. Off the stick of Tremblay. He'll send it ahead looking for Bryan as McLean will find it and send it in deep. McEachern will play it from behind his own net. Up ahead looking for McIntosh. Off his skate comes free for Bertram. Here comes Nick Bertram having himself a playoffs. Bertram will let a shot go. It's going to go off the shin pad. Bertram with 5 assists in the postseason. Good for 3rd on his team in scoring. As Munderton on the forecheck, we want to talk about scoring. He had the most points in the regular season for the Steele Subarus. That shot will go towards the goal off the stick of Sorrendo defending his blue paint. As that will be turned over at the blue line. Munderton will get the zone and send it in deep. Sorrendo will go backhand over for his defenseman. Played up to the middle of the ice as that's going to be whistled down. Net came off behind the play. First whistle of the evening gives us a chance to look at the top scores on the Subaru side. Max Bryan 6 goals, 5 assists for 11 points. Him and Matt McDonald share the honor of leading their team in scoring. 2 rookies, 2 draft-eligible players in their first year of U18 hockey. Puck is dropped. It's going to be one back to DD Normore. He finds Oliver Scotland as he was one of those top scorers for the Subs. 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points in the postseason. That'll rim its way around the wall. Here comes Eli Swain with it. Swain looking to get by Carver on the forecheck. Gets the stick lifted. As Sullivan there to help his teammate out. Battle along the boards. Comes free for the Weeks. Here comes Nate Kidd with it. Kidd up for Sullivan. He finds Croft. As Kidd takes a hit from Carver, and the Subs bench likes that. That's going to be chipped into the zone. That will be an icing call. You can definitely say that Nate Kidd is one of those players who gets under the skin of the opposition, and you just know whenever he gets hit that the Subs bench will love to see that, as you saw the reaction from them after Kidd took a body contact, as he will remain out there for this ozone face-off. The Subs can't change off of the icing call against them. Puck is dropped. Battle in the corner. Scotland will play it ahead. Here's Brendan Smith, the Gatineau Olympic draft pick. Will flip it through center. As that's going to be picked off by Smith again on the zone entry from the Weeks. Comes free from Ryder McQueen. He'll go cross ice. That's going to bounce its way off the skate of Scotland, who is trying to pinch through an offense. Here's Allerson McPhee. McPhee over to Scotland. Scotland will play it through the middle of the ice. Chipped ahead by McQueen looking for Sparks. Owen Sparks plays it back. Here's Scotland. Oliver Scotland has the puck on his stick. He'll get the red line and set it in deep and go for a change. There's a battle for the loose puck as Ryan gets tangled up with Lawrence Williams. Here comes McKenzie. Plays it over for Frazier. He gets hit in the boards by Ben Henry. Battle ensues in the corner. Comes free for the Subs. Here's Henry again. He'll poke it out of the zone. That's going to make its way into the stick of McKenzie for the Weeks. He'll drop it off for Williams. Couldn't handle it cleanly. Here's Lawrence Williams up the head. That's going to be sent in deep as Williams takes a hit. No icing's the call. Here is Henry. Henry will send it back behind his own net for Alistair McPhee. McPhee up for Sparks. Owen Sparks loses the puck as Green strips him of the biscuit. Sent in deep. Here's McCackern looking for Bircham. Bircham will leave it on the wall as Bryan comes in the forecheck, causing a stir. Bryan in the corner. He gets tangled up down low with Bircham. Tremblay in the mix as well. 2-on-2 to the glove side of Sorrento. Weeks have it. Here's Bircham. Bircham will flick it through center. That'll make its way down inside the Subs zone. That'll be no icing. Here's Land. Land's another rookie defenseman on the Subs blue line. Will play it through the middle of the ice. Finds McLean. McLean gets his stick lifted on the back check. Comes free again. McLean's shot stopped by Sorrento. There's a big hit behind the net. You can hear the boom from the boards. As that'll be sent up to the line. Picked off by Land. He'll go over to Duffy. There's a collision at the center ice circle between him and Conlon. Here's McEachern. Will rim it around the wall. It's going to be kept in by Land on the opposite boards. Finds Bryan down deep, looking to center it from behind the net, as that will hit a body on its way through. As we're just past the 5-minute mark of the opening frame. Still no score here in Pictou County. Battle ensues in the corner. Comes free at the line. Here's Duffy. Plays it over for Land. Land's shot will go loose. Rebound, scores! Travis Tremblay on the doorstep. Opens the scoring here in Game 4. Perfect sifter shot from the blue line up the pad of Sorrento. Johnny on the spot, Tremblay has his 5th goal of the playoffs to make it 1-0 here in the 4th game of this series. And the Subs strike first blood here in Pictou County. 1-0 is the score. It'll be Land with the assist and Travis Tremblay with the goal. As that'll be played in the zone. Weeks looking to respond. Frazier on the forecheck. As McLean also gets an assist, so he's having himself a great postseason as well, picking up his 4th apple of the postseason. Here's Scotland from behind his own net over to Normore. Normore up for Smith. Smith will try and find Burgess. That's going to be picked off, but Subs get it right back. Here's Smith. Enters his zone on the far side, puts the brakes on, loses the puck. As that's going to be played back in deep by Jack Cameron. Cameron looking to find Sin. That'll bounce over his stick. Comes free on net as that will be covered up by Sorrento. There's a chance to look at the week's top scores this postseason. Ethan Frazier, 3 of those goals that he has of the 6 came yesterday. Had a hat trick, all 3 goals of the weeks. Ewan Sim, 2 goals, 5 assists. Nicholas Bertram, 5 apples. Liam Conlon, 3 goals, 1 assist. Jaden Croft, 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. Puck is dropped. One to the back for Munden on the top of the circle as he fanned on the shot. Might have got a piece of a week's defender. Williams will take over. Here comes Lawrence Williams with the puck. He'll send it in deep. Back to retrievers McPhee. He'll take a look up ice before picking up the puck. McPhee sent up ahead. Here comes Tristan Turner. He'll send it in deep. Turner will dump it in. Turner is a AP4 now with the Subs. There's a pass towards the goal. It's going off the stick of Sorrento. Play to the high stick and nullified because the Weeks touched it. Here comes Pugsley. Pugsley over across. That will be out of the reach of the attendant recipient. That was McIntosh. That will be sent towards the weak zone. Here is White. Plays it back for Lawrence Williams. Over for McKenzie. Back across. Here's White. White will get the red line and send it ahead. That's going to be offside at the line. But there's a collision and a few shoves after the whistle. It's game number 4, so these teams are very familiar with each other. Of course, they played in the regular season as well. So you know that there's a lot of heated rivalries between these 2 squads. Puck is dropped. Ryan against Kidd for the draw. It's going to be one back for Lawrence Williams. He'll take the puck from behind his own net up the board. It's going to be onto the stick now of Kidd. Here comes Nate Kidd down the left side. Kidd will make a move. Gets hit off the puck by Duffy. Rebound cleared away. Physical start here to the 4th game of the series. Zalby flicked into the netting for a stoppage. Face-off will be to the blocker side of Will Cole, the 3rd-year netminder. Kidd against Ryan once again. You got to think that line matching is a big part of this time of year and all season long at this level, of course. Looks like the Ryan line and the Kidd line are matched up together. There's a shot from Cameron. Will go off a body in front as Kidd will collect the rebound. He'll blow a tire. Comes free along the wall. Here's Swain. Swain will work it in deep. Has Croft with him. Croft collects it on his backhand. Here's Jaden Croft. Will work his way up the wall towards the blue line. Looking to feather it across for Kidd. Comes free for Croft again, but that will be defended off of his stick. Here comes Owen Sparks. Sparks will saucer it across the ice for Ryan. Ryan back for Sparks. Here's Sparks. Shot! Well wide of the net. Good look there for number 11 to try and double up the Subs lead. Here comes Bertram. Nicholas Bertram will take it wide on the far side. Bertram puts the brakes on. Will play it in deep for Kidd. Kidd will go after his man in the corner. That was Scotland. That'll be chipped out of the zone. Tremblay against Cameron for the loose puck. Tremblay gets there first, but Cameron defends it. Comes free. Here's Scotland joining the rush. Oliver Scotland will cycle it in deep for Tremblay. Tremblay has the only goal so far in this contest. That's going to be worked to the corner. Tremblay has it again from behind the net. Tremblay looking for a lane. Shot will go across the net and wide. Normore will keep it in deep. Here's Tremblay. Plays it back up the wall for Normore. Normore back down deep for Tremblay. Here's Travis Tremblay. Will try and play it back up top of the blue line. Picked off by the Weeks. Here comes Green. Hunter Green gets his stick lifted by Brian. That will be played back inside the weak zone. There's a hit along the wall. Battle ensues for the puck. Here comes Eisner with it now. Eisner will make his way through. Shot up the stick, and that will go out of play. Another scrum after the whistle behind the net. Expect to see lots of those as we continue on in this series. Face-off will be to the glove side of Will Cole. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Will Cole has not left the Subs net in this series. Neither has Jared Sorrento. But that's going to be worked in the corner. There's a collision looking for that loose puck. As Henry fell down in the ice, arm stays down as well. Here's Sullivan. He'll take the pass in neutral ice. He'll send it in deep. Approaching the halfway mark of the first. Here come the Subs the other way. Smith will collect it. Smith sends it in deep. Burgess looking for that loose puck, but Sereno gets there first. He'll play over to Sullivan up the wall. He finds Frazier. Frazier over cross looking to spring Conlon. That will come free. Sim will backhand to the zone. Takes a hit from Ben Henry. Here's Burgess. Burgess will play it into the opposite corner. Back to retrieve it as McKecker, and that's going to be played up ahead, and that will bounce its way into the zone. Land gets there first. Over to Duffy. Liam Duffy has the puck on his own goal line. He'll go off the board. That's going to be an icing call, and that will take us to the halfway point. But because it's an icing, they will not buzz us off for the TV timeout. But there it is, so that will take us into the break. You're watching game number 4 of this best of 7 series here in round 2 of the Phil Hara Cup playoffs. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to the Pictou County Wellness Center. It's 1-0 for the Steele Subaru here in Game 4 of the second round of the Phil Hara Cup playoffs. 2 versus 3 matchup. Shots are dead even at 3-3. There's another icing call. Sue's bench does not like that one. Head coach Marty King is upset with that opinion of the referee. You can see him on the bench barking towards the official, as they will make the decision to drop it at center. So Kidd against McDonald for the draw. It's going to be one back. Here's Williams. Williams will send it in the zone, comes free. Here's Kidd, shot, scores! Nate Kidd has just tied this game! A great burst of speed from the Shawinigan Cataracts draft pick, Nathan Kidd, has the equalizer here in game number 4. Just past the halfway mark of the first period. We are back to where we started in a tie game. 1-1 is the score. That's a huge goal for the Weeks, as Pugsley gets his stick knocked out of his hands. Here is Sam Ryan. He'll take a hit, makes the play up the head. Battle ensues for the puck. Sparks gets tangled up with Sullivan. Here's Normore. Plays over to Scotland. It's going to be kept in by the Weeks. Play towards the opposite corner. As they announce the Kidd goal. Here's Pugsley. Pugsley gets his pocket picked at center. Here's McQueen. He'll send it in deep. Croft gets the assist. And Pugsley as well. So Kidd from Croft and Pugsley. Here comes White the other way. White will get his pocket picked as he enters the zone. Here comes Oliver Scotland the other way. Scotland will backhand it into the corner. Him and Cameron get tangled up down low. Burcham advances the puck up the wall. Kept in by Bryan at the blue line. Bryan will go across looking for Tremblay. There's Travis Tremblay sent towards the net, as that's going to be steered to the corner by Serendo. Kept in, or no, that will get past Tremblay. Comes free for Henry. Plays it over to McPhee. McPhee over for Tremblay. That will make its way past the blue line. Sent towards the Sub zone. Comes free. Here comes Frazier. Shot at the pad of Cole. Rebound cleared away by the Subs. 8:20 to go here in the first period of game number 4. Here's McLean over to Brian. That's going to be offside of the line. A few shoves after the whistle on Brian. The Weeks thought that shot was a little late after the whistle. So it is 1-1 here in game 4. Travis Tremblay has the goal for the Steele Subaru off the rebound shot from the point. And you just saw Nate Kidd burst his way through the middle of the ice and beat Will Cole low glove to tie things up. Face-off will be a neutral ice. Brian against Sim. 2 highly touted prospects in this summer's QMJHL draft. As that will be off a stick and that will remain in bounds. There's McKenzie over to Williams. Lawrence Williams has the puck as that will be sent up ahead. McPhee pinching through. He'll take a hit from Williams. Puck comes free. Here comes Max Bryan. Bryan in the middle of the ice will try and play it towards the goal off a body. Chance the other way. Here comes Williams. Plays over to Conlon. Conlon looking to find Frazier in transition. It's going to be intercepted. Here's Bryan over to Tremblay. Tremblay puts the brakes on, looking to center for McLean. McLean looking to go through the legs of the defender, but Williams just gets enough of it to prevent a scoring chance as Frazier moves it up ice. Here come the Weeks. Pass to the middle. Here's Sim. Shot blocked by Ben Henry in front of his own net. As that will make its way up the wall and inside the Weeks zone. Subs are changing. Played to the middle. Chipped ahead by Sim. Puck is bouncing. Here's Land. Land over to Duffy. Duffy back for Land. That will bounce over his twig. Land gets it back. Will send it down the ice and that will go out of play for another whistle. You're watching the Phil Herod Cup playoffs. It's 2-1 in this series in the 2 versus 3 matchup over in Port Hood. The Halifax Max got the win last night to extend their series lead. I believe that game is going on right now over at the Al McInnes Sports Center in Cape Breton. Max have a chance to sweep the series. There's a hit from Nate Kidd on Land as that's going to be played inside the weak zone but offside. Carver gets tangled up with Sullivan. Nate Kidd having himself a great game 4 on both sides of the puck. He'll take the face-off against Burgess in front of the Weeks bench. Puck is dropped. Here's Duffy. He'll play it inside the zone. Comes free for Burgess. Burgess will let a shot go off the pad. Rebound cleared away. Weeks have it, looking to get in the offensive zone, but that's going to be picked off and sent back in. There's a pass across the ice, deflected off the wall, and that will go out of play as Croft had that go off his sticking out of the playing surface. Face-off will be inside the weak zone. 6:44 to go in the first period. Shots are 5-4. The score is tied at 1. Puck is dropped. One back to the line. Here's Normore. Normore over to Scotland. Scotland played to the wall as Carver got his pocket picked there along the boards. Here comes Kidd. Kidd dishes it for Swain. Swain over to Croft. Croft onto the zone to the middle. Takes a big hit, but gets the best of that one. Reverse on Smith as Carver the other way. What great action here in the 4th game of the series. As that we played in deep. There is Cameron. Over to Eli Swain. Swain back over for Cameron. Jack Cameron through the middle. Looking to go back for Swain. That will miss him. Sent up ahead. Here come the Subs. Turner has the puck 2-on-1 with Burgess. Turner couldn't pull the trigger. Rebound sent towards the goal, but off the stick of Serendo. There's Burgess. Burgess has it. Finds Turner. Tristan Turner, the former Halifax Max, will play it up top for Scotland's shot. That's going to be corralled by Serendo as the puck bobbled off of his glove, but he caught it out of midair to freeze play. Face off inside the weak zone. Once again, McDonald will take the draw against Green. Puck hits the ice. One of the corner. Here's Williams. He'll go off the glass. That will make its way down the ice as Eisner looking to get there first. Eisner will play it up ahead. It's going to be poked free, play to the line. Here is a shot from McKenzie, tipped just wide. Here's Eisner, centering pass. Will go off the stick of Will Cole defending his crease on the other side. Here is Williams. Williams' shot will go wide in the corner, looking for the tip in front. Here's Turner. Tristan Turner will send it on goal off the pad. A rebound was there, but cleared away. As McPhee finds it in center, he'll play it across the ice. There's McKenzie over to Williams, back for McKenzie on the DDD pass. McKenzie with 5:10 to go in the first. One to the zone through the middle, still has the puck, will drop it off. As Tanner has it. Cohen Tanner plays it in deep, looking for a teammate in the corner. There's a shot from McKenzie from the goal line, will go off the stick of Cole. Chance the other way, here comes Munden, might have a 2-on-1. Munden will hold on to it and shoot out the blocker, Sorrento. Nice save there from the Weeks netminder. As Sam Ryan has the puck, he'll backhand it in the zone as he'll take a hit from Williams in the process. Here's McKenzie up the boards. McIntosh finds it. McIntosh will play it up ahead for Green. Green will take a hit from Owen Sparks. Here is Duffy. Sue's wanted too many men for the Weeks there, but no call. Here's McEachern. That will be flipped through center. Land will play it back towards the weak zone. McEachern gets it right back. He'll chip it ahead for McIntosh, who redirects it inside the Subaru end. Here is Duffy. He'll play it out the boards. Sparks looking to get the puck out of the zone. Ryan finds it. Sam Ryan will go cross ice. He finds Land. Land will try and dump it in, hits a body. Comes free. There's a hit in the corner on McQueen. That will be flipped through center by Sullivan. Glove down by Ryan. Subs are offside, so that will be the call for the whistle. Inside 4 minutes to go here in the opening period of game number 4. The Steele Subaru have a 2-1 series lead in this best of 7 series. A win here today would give them a stranglehold in the series. Weeks looking to make it 2-2, heading back to game 5, which I believe will be at the Zatzman Sportsplex on Friday. Here's Conlon. Conlon will play it towards the goal. That will nearly go through the 5 full of Cole. I'd be careful there. He played that nonchalantly with his stick and missed it, but that will not be a goal. Here's Scotland. Scotland will advance the puck for McLean. McLean looking to find Bryan. That's going to be intercepted. Here's Normore inside his own zone. Normore will go off the glass. He'll hit the stanchion and come right back to him. He could do that 100 times and never be able to do that again. That's going to be sent in deep. Here's Sorrento. He'll go backhand out of play, and that should be a penalty unless that hits something on the way through. Referees will discuss the play. If that did not hit a thing, if that did not hit anything on its way out and Sorrento had the last touch, that will be a penalty. But there's a scrum in front of the referees trying to discuss the play. Let's see what they come up here. Obviously a pivotal moment late in the first as they're getting away from the scrum. By rule, if the goalie plays it out of play into the netting, it's an automatic delay of game penalty. Let's see what they deem it here as they're still discussing in front of the timekeeper's box over on the opposite side. So looks like no penalty. Referee explaining the situation. There might be a penalty. We'll see. I didn't see a signal. Okay, so they got the penalty on the board now. So that was delay of game. Swain will serve for Sorrento. So the first power play of the game will go to the Subs here with 3:08 to go in the first. Delay a game for the goaltender. Here's Duffy. He'll quarterback the power play over to McQueen. McQueen will try and play it down low. He fans on it, gets it back. Ryder McQueen will play it for Tremblay. His pass intercepted, and then that will be cleared down the ice. Cole out to play it. Leaves it for Duffy. Duffy will weave his way through center, takes a hit as he nears the zone. Duffy in the corner, gets tangled up, and that will be played to the line. Kept in. Here's McDonald up top for McQueen. Back for McDonald. Matty McDonald will play it up the wall for Duffy, and that will be intercepted and cleared down the ice by the Weeks. Great penalty kills so far from them. Here's McQueen, the acting captain tonight, as Poplinski suspended. McQueen will take it wide, gets steered on the boards as Tremblay finds it. Tremblay gets hit from Sullivan. Here's a chance for Bertram to clear, and he will do just that. There's Alistair McPhee now out for this power play. The Subs are changing. Here's Ryan, and that will be too many men on the ice. Bench minor for Marty King and the Subs. So that will even things up. 4-on-4 for 48 seconds. And then 1:12 of power play time for the Weeks. Let's see who will serve the penalty. Someone's got to serve this one. And there goes Tristan Turner, the assistant captain. So 4-on-4 late in the first period. What a game so far. Here's Henry. Over to Ryan. Over to McPhee. Here's Alistair McPhee. He'll weave his way into the zone. Puts the brakes on. McPhee across the ice. He finds Henry up for Ryan. Ryan back for McPhee. Has a lot of space. He'll shoot one off the pad. Save made by Sorrento. That will be played off the glass. Sent up ahead. Here comes Nate Kidd to their way. Kidd has the puck. And look, the play over cross. McKenzie got a stick lifted. He couldn't accept the pass. As here comes Kidd again. Nate Kidd will let a shot go. Stopped by Will Cole. That will freeze play. Another scrum after the whistle. 9 seconds remaining on the Sorrento penalty. 1:17 to go in the frame. Frazier and Sim alongside Williams and Cameron will be the four out there for the Weeks. McDonald, Smith, Lance, and Duffy are the four opposing them. Here's Jack Cameron. It's now a Weeks power play. He plays it back for Williams. Back over for Cameron. Cameron will play it towards the goal. Picked off in the slot, kept in at the top. Here's Williams. Lawrence Williams will make his way to the blue line. Over to Sim. Sim plays it back over, but intercepted as McDonald will play it with the high stick out of midair. And that will be touched up by Williams, so that will nullify the high stick. So here come the Weeks the other way. Pass up for Cameron. Jack Cameron makes a move, still has the puck. Shot! Scores! Oh my! Jack Cameron! What a goal! Toe drag in the slot. Takes a lot of big kahunas to pull that move off, especially when the stakes are this high, but nobody shines brighter than Jack Cameron when the lights are bright. What a goal. 2-1 is the score. Beautiful toe drag. Right in front of Will Cole. Beats the goaltender. And is now 2-1. Power play marker for Jack Cameron. That was a dandy. That's going to be played in deep. It is loud here at the Wellness Center in Pictou County. Here comes McEachran. He'll flick it through center. Glove down by Scotland. Comes free. Here come the Weeks. Here's Pugsley's shot. That will be stopped by Cole. That will stop play. 14 seconds remaining in the first period, and what a period it has been so far. Shots are 10-7 in favor of the Weeks here at home. They have just taken the lead off of a nifty little move by Jack Cameron. Kidd will take the face off against Bryan. Puck is dropped. Comes free. 10 seconds to go in the period that we played to center. Here is Williams. Lawrence Williams will kick the hit as he enters the zone from Bryan. And that'll be played on net. What a collision on the entry. There's a scrum in front of the net. Max Bryan throwing his weight around. What can you say about this opening 20 minutes besides, wow, they'll send Serrano to the bench for the extra attacker with 3 seconds. So 6-on-5 to close out this frame. Every inch matters in this series, looking to move on to the finals. There's a scrum on the hash mark between Cameron and Tremblay. They're shoving each other. Tension's high here at the tail end of this frame. A lot of barking going on between both sides. Looks like they're ready to drop the puck now. That's going to be one back. Here's a shot blocked in front. It's the Subaru clogged up that slot, and that's going to do it. What a period, folks. If I were you, I'd stick around for the second and the third, but we'll take a quick break before we do so. You're tuned to High Button Sports. We're headed into the Zamboni break. 2-1 is the score. We'll be back after the flood. Welcome back inside the Pictou County Wellness Center. You're watching game number 4 of this best of 7 series in the Phil Herod Cup playoffs. It's 2-1 in the series for the Subs, but the Weeks have a 2-1 lead in this game. Shots on goal were 11-7 after the opening frame for the Weeks. It was Travis Trombley who opened the scoring for the Subs early in the period, but then 2 goals from the Weeks from Nate Kidd and Jack Cameron with a highlight reel. That's the story so far. A very physical, fast-paced first. Let's see what the second period has in store. Ryan versus Sim for the opening draw. And we are underway in period number 2 here in Pictou County. Sam Ryan will collect the puck in his own zone. He'll feather it over for Henry. Henry will send it in deep. That'll make its way back towards the center. Frazier got to tangle up with Ryan. Frazier advances the puck. Here comes Ethan Frazier. Shot off the pad. Rebound cleared away. As that will be sent up the ice. Here comes Sparks as Cameron will take over. Drops it for Conlon. How about that goal from Jack Cameron at the end of the period? Toe drag in the slot in the power play. Top shelf. That was a memorable one. As there's a hit in the corner. That'll be sent down the ice. Sullivan over to Sim. As we're 40 seconds into the second period. Here's Lawrence Williams, the top rookie defenseman in the league this year. Turns it over. Here comes Sam Ryan. Shot stopped by Sorrento, and that's our first whistle of the frame. Sorrento and Cole making their 4th straight start of the series. Sorrento has not left the crease in the playoffs yet. Will Cole has played every game this series. I believe that Silas Mullins got a game in the first round against the Mustangs. But we have not seen Mullins or Jake Thorne yet in this series here in round 2. There's a shot towards the goal. Rebound in front as a man made its way on top of Sorrento. Let's see who that is getting up. That is, oh, I should have guessed it, Max Bryan. As he drove the net hard. Jared Sorrento a little slow to get up in the Weeks crease. Bryan loves to crash that net for better or for worse. This time it was for the worst, but I don't think we'll see a penalty on the play. Face-off will be a neutral ice. Puck is dropped as we're exactly 60 seconds into the second period. There's a chance for Bryan. Can't get by the stick of McKenzie on the toe drag move. Here's Bryan again. Puck is bouncing, sent towards the slot area. Picked off by Ewan Sim. He has the puck. Sim will advance it ahead as that's Williams with it. Williams takes a hit as him and Duffy collide behind the net. That will be cleared down the ice. Sorrento out to play it. That will nullify the icing call. Here's McKenzie. Send to the line. Land will try and send it back in deep. Here's Bryan. Max Bryan back up top for Lamb. One-timer. Shot through the screen. Hits a body and goes wide of the net. Good look there for the Subs looking to tie the game. Here's McLean as Pugsley finds it. Over to Williams as his helmet strap undone. And McKenzie takes the pass off the wall. Here comes McKenzie. Will drop it off, but it's a back-checking stick. Bryan will rim it around the boards as collision at center ice. McLean couldn't get to that loose puck. That'll be flicked up ahead as Sorrento out to play it. Sorrento will go over to McKenzie as he had Bryan back in on the forecheck. That's going to be flicked through center. Puck is bouncing. Comes free for Swain. Here comes Swain down the right side. Swain will play it in behind the net. And still get tangled up down low as here's a player falling down and blowing a tire. Was Kidd. He'll get back up and gets hit in the board. There's a shot. That will go wide. There's Bertram up top. Bertram will rim it around the wall. Finds Swain. Swain towards the goal. Sent on net. Stopped by Cole. As there's a few shoves in front of Cole's crease and behind the net. Looks like they'll take 2 players to the box, 1 on each side. Bryan and Croft. Both for roughing. It looks like it will remain 5-on-5. You can see the referee flashing 5 fingers in both hands at center ice. Kidd's line will stay out there. White will replace Croft. Burgess, Carver, and Smith out there for the Subs. Puck hits the ice. One to the line. Here's Burcham. Over to McEachern. McEachern will get it poked off of his stick. He'll play it in deep. Battle ensues in the corner. Here comes Carver, sent up ahead. Here comes Smith, will try and take it wide. Smith's shot will hit a body on its way through, goes wide. Rebound wrapped around the net, looking to center it. That will make its way back inside the Sub zone. Here is McPhee. Finds Burgess, will throw it off the wall. McEachern back to retrieve it up for Burcham. That will be picked off by Burgess. Puck is bouncing for Ben Henry. DD pass finds Alistair McPhee. He'll rim it around the ball. Sorrento goes backhand over McEachern. Sent through the middle of the ice. And that will be an icing call against the Weeks, so they'll be unable to change. Ryan, Sparks, and McQueen will head out there with Scotland and Normore. Kid line will be forced to remain on the ice due to the icing call. Puck is dropped. Here's Scotland will play it towards the opposite wall. Sparks will play it in deep. Weeks have it. Sent across. Here is Cohen Tanner. Tanner has the puck. That's going to be played up ahead. Sent towards the goal. And that will be directed in the corner. Here is Kidd. Kidd up for Tanner. Tanner over to Sullivan. Sullivan's shot will be stopped by Cole. Rebound collected by Scotland. Scotland takes a hit from Tanner. That will free up the puck. Sent back in deep. Normore will find it. Played up the wall. Tanner up to Eisner. Eisner's shot. Scores! Cameron Eisner in the top of the slot area. Beats Will Cole clean. Weeks are up by 2. Great forecheck to keep the puck inside the zone. Eisner takes the pass from behind the net and makes no mistake. It is a 2-goal lead for the Pictou County Weeks Majors. That's going to be won back by the Subs. And that will make its way to Sorrento. He'll play it in the corner. There's a hit on the wall. Here comes Green as Land will take over. He plays it back for Duffy. Tanner as that'll be played in the zone. Tanner looking to cross. That's going to be picked off. Here come the Subs with numbers. Here's McDonald. Couldn't find the stick of Carver. That will make its way into the zone. Sullivan up the wall as Cameron finishes his hit in the corner. Here's Green. Over to Sullivan. Sullivan will flick one off his backhand to the center of the ice. Duffy has it. Over to Land. Land, as Conlon picks it off, will catch it out of midair. Here comes Liam Conlon, takes it wide. Conlon on the goal line, puts the brakes on. Played up top. Here's McKenzie. D-to-D pass, finds Williams. Williams shot, gloved down by Cole. And that will stop play. As Bryan and Croft will head back to their benches, Bryan will actually stay out there for the O-zone face-off, or G-zone face-off, I guess. Shots 15-9 for the Weeks here in game number 4. They're up by 2 as we're approaching the 5-minute mark of the second. Puck is dropped. One back. Here's Duffy. Duffy will go off the boards. That will be sent down the ice, and that will be an icing call. As we'll redo that draw inside the Sub zone. Conlon, Frazier, and Sim out there for the Weeks with Williams and McKenzie on the blue line. Puck is dropped. One back. Here's Frazier as Williams will play it in the corner. Sim finds it down low. He'll take a hit from Duffy. Gets taken down. Here's Bryan. He'll lead the rush for the Subs. Looking to get back into this game. They've given up 3 straight goals unanswered. Williams finds it in his own zone, up for Conlon. Bryan gets there first. Shot will go over the net past the glove side. Good forecheck there from number 22. There's a shot from distance, ticked away by Sorrento. That'll make its way to center. Frazier finds McKenzie. McKenzie's shot will go off a body and wide. McKenzie, another chance sent towards the goal. That will be off a body. Sim has it. Here's Ewan Sim. He gets tangled up with Brian. Still has the puck. Comes free for Frazier. Frazier, nice toe drag move. Still has it. Shot will be gloved down by Cole. Penalty on the play. As looks like Sim and Brian were tangled up in the corner. Looks like it's just Sim hanging in the box. Roughing's the call. So another Subs power play. They're looking to cut the lead in half. Ryan, Munden, Brian, Henry, and McPhee are the 5 out there for the Subs. McIntosh, White, McEachern, and Sullivan will try and kill off this penalty, as that's going to be blown down as they drop the puck. Two seconds were shaved off the clock there, so they'll probably just pause. As you can see, they're in the rink as they'll reset it back to 2 minutes. A full power play, as they'll have to change the game clock as well to 14:08. I assume that's what they want. There it is, so we're ready to go now. Ryan against McIntosh for the draw. It's going to be one back by the Weeks. There's a hit on the wall. Played up top. McPhee has it. McPhee's shot will go on net as off the deflection. Rebound will hit a stick. As here's Henry up top. Henry down low for Munden. He'll try and go across the ice. That'll be deflected. Good stick on the penalty kill for McIntosh. There's McPhee. Finds Brian. Cross ice for Ryan. Ryan will one-time that in deep. Serrando will leave it behind his own net for Sullivan. That will get past Ryan, and that will be cleared down the ice. Here's Cole. Leaves it for Alistair McPhee. Then Henry takes over. Here comes Henry, played for the Basin Armada last season, is out there now with the Sioux for this power play. He'll rim it around the boards. That'll be sent in behind the net. Here comes Sullivan. Sullivan, as his clearing attempt will be picked off. Here's a shot from distance, blocked in front. Here comes Free. Here's Brian across for Ryan. Back for Ryan, he couldn't pull the trigger. Ryan probably should have shot that puck on the doorstep. Here's Munden. Down low for Ryan, up top for McPhee. McPhee will shoot one through the screen, rebounds there. Another chance, they score! Max Bryan parked in front, and watch out McPhee for the celebration. It's a 1-goal game once again. Max Bryan on the power play. His 7th goal of the postseason, number 22 in light blue, has just made this a 1-goal game. Couple chances to clear for the Weeks. Couldn't do so, ends up in the back of their net. And it is now a 1-goal game once more. Here comes Cameron. Over to Conlon, shot will be stopped by Cole. Here's Burgess. Puck down low, centering pass. Frazier gets tangled up, couldn't pull the trigger. As that will be cleared past the blue line. There's a scrum with Frazier in front of the net. As hit will fear the puck, has to be played in deep. Here's Cameron. Cameron up for Conlon. Conlon will try and clear, hits a body. As Frazier takes a hit. Here's Burgess now inside his own zone, has Simon on the forecheck. As that will be flicked up ahead, kept in by Jack Cameron. Cameron, nice move of the blue line, still has it. Cameron up for Conlon, one-timer blocked. Bounces his way in the corner. Here's Sims, shot trying to get one through Cole. That will be kept out. Here's Cameron. Another nice move of the blue line. He'll backhand one in deep. You can tell that Cameron is feeling it right now, as that will be cleared down the ice. Bertram back to retrieve it. Bertram looking to catch the Subs on the change. Here's Sim. Shots it for Frazier. Frazier will try and center it for Swain. That will hit a body in front. Here's Smith for the Subs. Makes a move past Sim. Finds Lands. Here comes Land. He'll get the blue line, send it in deep. Sorrento out to play it. He'll go backhand up the boards into the blocker side corner. McDonald finds it. Here's a chance for McQueen. He does not shoot it on the high slot. Drops it off. Here's a redirection as Duffy let one go, but ends up behind the net. Duffy from Gretzky's office will try and get by Williams. Here is Swain through the middle. He finds Ewan Sim. Sim will try and toe drag through as Land gets to the puck. Cleared but not out. Here's Croft. Shot off the pad. Rebound will be cleared away by McDonald. Sent towards the corner. Kept into the line. As Williams takes a hit. Here comes McQueen. McQueen over to McDonald. Soups have numbers. McDonald shot will go wide off a body. Soups have it. Here's Sparks up for McQueen. McQueen shot, block it away by Sorrento. Point blank save from the Weeks netminder. There's another chance off the side of the cage. McQueen, another good look there for the Subs. Here comes Croft. As that will come free the other way. There's a hit at center as McPhee will send it in deep. Here's McKenzie. McKenzie will slow things down, approaching the halfway mark of regulation. Here's McKenzie. As puck will find Kidd off of his skate. Comes free. Here comes Nate Kidd on the left wall. Kidd will fake the shot. Wrap it through. Save made by Cole. Nice hesitation move there from Nathan Kidd. Looking for his second of the game. That will be an icing call, which will take us to the halfway point. And a quick break. You're watching the High Button Sports coverage of the Phil Herod Cup. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Pictou County. It's a one-goal game here in game number 4. We just passed the halfway mark of regulation. Buckle up, folks. We're in for a fantastic ride to finish this one off. As that will be cleared to center. Here's Jack Cameron up ahead looking for Burcham. Turned over. Here's McLean. McLean across for Tremblay. One-timer. Just goes wide. Great look there off the pass from McLean to find Tremblay. Just sent it past the glove side. That's going to be whistled down. There's a few shoves in the face-off circle. Shots are 19-13 in favor of the Weeks. Face-off will be in their zone. Both sides will make changes. Burgess in for the draw against White. Inside the Weeks zone to the glove side of Sorrento. Puck is dropped. It's going to come free for the Weeks. Sullivan looking to clear off the glass. Puck is bouncing. Nice move to advance the puck by White. He'll take a hit from Carver into the Subs bench. Here's McEachran over to Sullivan. Sullivan through the middle of the ice. That will be sent all the way down. That will be no icing as it's got a piece of coal. Scotland over to Normore. Sent up ahead by Carver. Here comes Smith. Smith will wind his way through. Shot towards the net. Blocked away by Sorrento. As rebound will hit a stick. Here's McIntosh. McIntosh will play it over. Finds White. That's going to be offside the line. Exactly 9 minutes to go in the second period. As over in Port Hood, it's 3-1 for the Cape Breton West Islanders heading into the third. Islanders looking to stave off elimination. They're down 3-0 in the series to the max. They're up by 2 with 20 minutes left in regulation over in Port Hood. As that will be flicked in through center. Here's McDonald. He finds Duffy. Liam Duffy has the puck on his stick. Will get the red line and send it in deep. Sorrento out to play it. Sorrento will go forehand. Up for Sullivan. Kept in by Munden. Munden will throw it towards the goal. It's going to stick and end up in the glove of Sorrento. Munden was a top scorer in the regular season in the entire league. Him and Evan Liver, were tied in that category. Haven't seen much from Munden in this game. I think he's got to get going here soon. Him, Bryan, and McDonald out there for the Zone draw, looking to tie the game. Play to the line. Here's Duffy over to Land. Land shot will go wide past the net as Munden was right there looking for the deflection. Here's Bryan. Pass in front for Munden. Just sent wide as there you go. Munden must have heard me. Here is Duffy. Shot will be blocked. Chance other way. As Sim will play that ahead with his skate, but played in deep by Land. No icing. Here's Williams. Lawrence Williams over to McKenzie. McKenzie up for Croft. He finds Sim. As McDonald finds it at neutral ice. Matty McDonald over to Land. Land up for McQueen. Munden finds it. Here comes Chase Munden. Will look to center it. Does. Here's McQueen. Stopped by Sorrento. Point blank. Huge save there from the Weeks goaltender. Great pass from Munden to find McQueen. And there's a great big shift from Munden, number 21. Here's Henry. He'll try and go D-to-D, but that will be played outside the zone as Alistair McPhee will backpedal back towards his own end. That's going to be played inside the zone, but Subarus were offside, so that will stop play. .740 to go in the second. It's a one-goal game here at the Pictou County Wellness Center. You're watching High Button Sports. Our coverage of the Phil Herod Cup playoffs continues here in Game 4. Just mentioned the Cape Breton West Islanders are down 3-0 in the series. Game 4 in Port Hood is going on right now. It just entered the third period. They're up by 2 goals over the Halifax Max. As Ryan will backhand one in deep. Cameron against Sparks for the loose puck inside the weak zone as Burcham will take over. Nick Burcham has the puck on his stick. Will try and advance it through center as Henry will take over. There's a hit on Swain. Here's Jack Cameron. Sends it over to Croft as that will be sent the other way. McPhee gets his stick taken out of his hands. There's McQueen. Ryder McQueen loses the puck. Is Henry looking to poke it in the zone? He will. And that's going to be whistled down. Just past the 13-minute mark of the second. 6:55 to go in the frame. Still 3-2. The pace kind of slowing down a bit in terms of chances. Both teams tightening up. Bryan back out there for this ozone draw. He has the latest goal in this game to make it 3-2. Puck is dropped. One back. Tremblay's shot will go well wide, up and high. Hits the glass behind the net. Played back in deep. Weeks have it. There's a pass for Pugsley through center. Cole Pugsley takes it wide on the near side. Shot will go wide. Looking for the rebound perhaps. Here's McIntosh. Played back in deep. That will miss Pugsley. As Oliver Scotland will take over. Scotland will play it through center. That's going to be sent the other way by Sullivan. Here's a chance for Pugsley. Pugsley looking to play it in front. And what a save off the redirection from Will Cole. As Pugsley passes to the slot. Got a piece of a stick and Cole snagged that out of midair. Burgess, Smith, and Carver will head out there for the Subs. Same line will stay out there for the Weeks. As that will be cleared off the glass. Here is McKenzie. Sent up for Pugsley. Cole Pugsley will play it back in his own zone. Here's McKenzie again, looking to play it through the middle. Comes free. There's a hit on Smith. Carver looking to dig it free. Here comes Calvin Carver. Will try and spin it in deep. Does. Burgess finds it. Burgess up to the line. DDD pass. Finds Land. Shot blocked. Gets it right back. Another chance will be sent wide. Carver battling down low. That will be played up and high McIntosh finds it. McIntosh looking to dump it in. Here's Williams. As that will be picked off. Burgess has it on his stick. 5.5 to go in the second period. Here's Carver. Carver looking to make a play. Looking to center it. That's going off a body. Carver gets it back. Carver in the corner. Up for Burgess. As that will be picked off. Here comes Cohen Tanner the other way. Tanner will get the blue line and send it in deep. Tanner gets it back. Pass across. Well defended. As diving to break up that pass was Duffy. Weeks having the O-zone. Here's Tanner down low. As Eisner looking to work it, but Duffy picks it off. 5 minutes remaining here in the second. Here comes Sam Ryan. Ryan takes it wide towards the net. Ryan looking to go backhand, but off the stick of Serendo, who is protecting his crease with the paddle. Here's Burcham. Nicholas Burcham enters his own shot, will go high and wide. Here's Eisner, gets the rebound, sent towards the net, picked off. Here comes Matty McDonald now. He'll try and flick it through center, picked off. Chance the other way. Here's Cameron, Jack Cameron, another toe drag move. This time he gets knocked out the puck by Henry. As him and Henry have a few shoves for each other behind the play. That's going to be sent towards neutral ice. Here's Sullivan. Sullivan finds Tanner. Tanner plays it over. That's going to be picked off. McPhee gets tangled up in neutral ice with Eisner. Battle ensues. Comes free for the Weeks. Here comes Tanner. Tanner will drag and shoot, unblocked by Henry. Another chance sent toward the net that will hit a body on its way through. As Sullivan pinching in, keeps it inside the zone, but that'll be turned over. Here's Munden, over to Ryan. Ryan one-on-one against McEachern, drops it off. Munden's shot will be gloved down by Serendo as Ryan made the drop pass. He found Chase Munden, the trailer. Let a one-timer go. Serendo saw that all the way through, made the save with the glove. Inside 4 minutes to go in the second period. Bryan against Sim for the draw inside the weak zone. Puck dropped, one back. Here's Tremblay, played in deep, looking for Bryan. As Sullivan will angle him off. Here's Common looking to advance the puck. Hits a skate, comes free for the Subs. Here comes Max Bryan. He can't work it in deep. Chance the other way, Conlon. Can't get by the defender pinching through. That was Normore. Here's Sim. That'll deflect off of his stick. Played in deep. Scotland against Conlon. Conlon wins the battle. Played up ahead as Cole makes the nice play of his stick to prevent the cross-crease pass from behind the net. Here's Frazier. Ethan Frazier with Conlon. Frazier's shot will be stopped by Cole, and he'll cover up the rebound. 3:03 remaining in the second. A great pace to this game so far. Back and forth. Shots are 20-16 in favor of the Weeks here at home. Frazier will stay out there with Simon Conlon for the zone draw. McQueen will oppose him at the dot. Puck hits the ice. Land will play off the glass as the Subs win the face-off. Here comes Sparks up for Duffy. Duffy's shot will go off and stick him wide. Duffy gets the rebound. He'll play it in deep looking for McQueen. That will miss his stick. Played in deep. McQueen up for Land. Land over across for Duffy. Duffy will sift her one through. That will go wide in the net. Land gets it back up top. Land over to Duffy again. Here comes Liam Duffy. He'll let a shot go. That will go off a stick and out of play. 2:31 remaining here in the second. As it is now 3-3 over in Port Hood. Max have scored 2 goals in the third period to tie the game. So 2 great games on a Sunday afternoon in U18 Major to cap off your weekend. Puck is dropped. There's Jack Cameron. Cameron over to White. That will go off his skate to his stick. Here's Duffy. He'll try and work it up ahead. That's going to go off his stick and out of play. A lot of whistles to end off this second period. Kidd against Burgess for the face-off. So one back. Here is Burcham. 2:20 to go in the period. Burcham will send it in deep. Land gets there first in his corner. Takes a hit on the forecheck from White. Play to the line. Here's Jack Cameron. Shot tipped on goal, but off the stick of the defenseman Land in front. As they'll clear it away from danger. Kidd and on the forecheck takes a hit from Duffy. Nate Kidd gets it back as him and Duffy collide again along the wall. I'll be played to the blue line. Here is Burcham over to Cameron. Jack Cameron back for Burcham. Burcham shot through the screen, redirected just wide. Here's Croft. Croft down low, finds White. White for Croft, played back up top for Burcham. Burcham shot will be off the body, rebounds there. Kidd just sends it wide. Here's Croft. Croft takes a hit from Land in the corner. White will join the battle down low. 2-on-2 behind the net. Played up ahead by the Subs. Bat out of midair by Carver. He'll work it up for Smith. Smith can't get by Burcham as he got back in time to take away a scoring chance. Here comes Ben Henry with it now. 1:20 to go in the period. There's a stretch pass for Carver. That'll be chipped into the zone. Here's Serendo. 70 seconds to go. Croft can't win the battle. Sent back in deep as we're inside the final 60 seconds of the period. There's Pugsley looking to bat that out of midair. Henry finds it. Ben Henry up the wall. That will deflect out of play, which will freeze play with 51 seconds to go in the period. And this is now 4-3 for the Max over in Port Hood. They just took the lead. So a chance for them to close out the series with a sweep. They're approaching the halfway mark of the third. Puck is dropped. Here's McQueen with less than 50 seconds to go. There's a hit on the boards. Comes free. Here's Tremblay will play towards the opposite wall. Brian looking to dig it loose. As that's going to be collected by McEachern and rimmed around the wall. 30 seconds to go, and that will be icing. Sioux make changes. Weeks can't because they just iced the puck. McQueen in for the draw. Puck is dropped. One back here is Brian. As that will be played to the corner off the block. Here's McQueen up top for Duffy. Over to Land. Land will work it in deep. McQueen gets it back on the wall. Ryder McQueen shot low, blocked in front. 12 seconds to go in the period. As Pugsley will collect from his own end. He'll get the red line and make a move. 6 seconds to go. Pugsley gets taken down. No call on the play. And that will do it for the second. There's at the buzzer on Brian. So it is a one-goal game heading into the third period here in Pictou County. You're watching the Phil Herod Cup playoffs on High Button Sports. If I were you, I would stay tuned for the third period. It's been a great game so far, and that should be no different heading into the final frame. We'll see you then. Welcome back to Pictou County. You're watching game number 4 of the second round of the Phil Herod Cup playoffs. Subs and Weeks. Subs have a 2-1 series lead, but it's the Weeks Majors here at home who have the advantage after 40 minutes of play. 3-2 is your score. Travis Tremblay opened the scoring back in the first period off a rebound shot. Now Nate Kidd with a burst of speed through the middle of the ice tied the game, and then Jack Cameron with the highlight reel goal made it 2-1. Weeks then scored to make it 3-1, and then Max Bryan on the power play in front of the net made it a 1-goal game, and that's where we stand right now heading into the final period of play. 20 fresh minutes on the board here for game number 4, and we are back in action. Here is Jack Cameron with the puck. We just mentioned how awesome his goal was in the second period. I guess that was in the first period. Here's Munden. Munden over to Henry. Henry will play it up the ice. That's going to be played back in the neutral zone. Henry drops it off for Ryan. Ryan will play it in deep. Henry in on the forward check, looking to get the puck. There's a chance in front. Sorrento on the point-blank shot from Chase Munden off a great feed from McQueen from behind the net. That's a huge stop early here in this third period from Jared Sorrento. Sorrento has not left the Weeks crease in the postseason. He played all 3 games in round 1 against the March-Milko Hunters, and he has played every game so far in this series as well. There's a face-off win for the Subs. Henry has it. Henry down low. Zell bounces his way off the wall. Comes free. Played back in deep. Here is Williams. He'll go over for his partner McKenzie. McKenzie will play it up the board. Sent on goal, blocked in front by Williams. Here is Lawrence Williams, the top-ranking defenseman in the league. Gets taken down. Arm stays down as well. No call on the play. Referees will more than likely let the players decide the outcome of this game. Here's Henry. Ben Henry. Over to Normore. Normore will play it up the wall, looking for Sparks. He got tangled up, couldn't accept the pass. Here's White. We'll send it down towards the opposite wall. That's going to be an icing call against the Weeks Majors. Face off to the glove side of Sorrento. 1 minute and 20 seconds into the third. Burgess against Croft for the face-off. There's a shot blocked on its way through. Here is McIntosh. He'll play it in deep. Lots of Max and mix out there for the week, so sometimes I stumble. Here's Smith now. Brendan Smith enters the zone. Will drop it for Carver. Carver back in deep. That's going to be picked off by Burcham. Burcham will play it around the wall. There's a hit behind the net on Kidd. Weeks looking to move the puck up the ice. Here comes Nate Kidd. Has a goal tonight. Takes a hit along the wall from Lant. Puck comes free. Plays back. Here is Duffy. Liam Duffy will skate the puck up the ice for the Subs. They're down a goal here in the third period of game 4. There's a pass towards the slot. That's going to go off a body. Duffy gets it back. We're going to play it through the middle. Picked off. Here come the Weeks. Swain has it. Swain will drop it off on the entry. Looking to drag that one through was Croft. Here comes Max Bryan. The other way at the turnover. That's a penalty behind the play. Head contact is the signal against Hunter McLean. So the Weeks went to the power play. Subs had numbers the other way, but it will be a Majors power play. Frazier, Conlon, Williams, Cameron, and Sim will head out there as the Weeks are 1 for 1 tonight on the man advantage. Jack Cameron scored in the first. So let's see what they can do with their second chance on the man advantage as Sim will try and work it back in the zone. Played back as Scotland will take over. Here is Oliver Scotland. He'll send it down the ice after taking a bit of time to kill off some clock as he had the time and space. Here comes Jack Cameron with it. He'll play it over for Lawrence Williams. Williams on the goal line, wraps his way around the net, looking to set up on the man advantage. Played up top for Cameron. Back for Williams. Lawrence Williams will play it back for Cameron. Back for Williams. One-timer low off the pad of Cole. As that will make its way to the opposite wall. Cameron picks it up. Cameron trying to dish it for Sim. There is Ewan Sim looking to feather it across. It's going to be intercepted and cleared down the ice. Jack Cameron has the puck up ahead. Here's Williams. Drops it out the line. Gets it back. Here's Lawrence Williams. Will play it in the corner. Sent in deep for Conlon. Liam Conlon back for Sim. Sim over cross. Here's Williams. One touch pass. Williams down low for Cameron. Over for Sim. Sim had to use his body to corral that one. Play to the middle for Fraser. Fraser's shot through the screen. Blocked in front. As Conlon was net front looking to take the eyes away from Cole. That's going to be cleared down the ice. 30 seconds to go on the Weeks power play. Here is Bircham as the second unit will creep out there on the ice for the rest of his man advantage. Bircham drops it at center ice. Played over for Kidd. Here's Nate Kidd through the middle. Here's a chance in front. Played over. That's a great look from Croft right in front of the net. Probably should have shot that one. Here's Kidd. Kidd a cross shot. That will go over the net and wide. Bircham will play it back in center ice. Over to Kidd. Nate Kidd as Burgess will collect it and send it in deeper. Back to 5 apiece. Big kill for the Subs as they're down a goal here in the third. Bircham up for Croft. Croft plays it back for Nate Kidd. Here comes Kidd through the middle of the ice. Makes a move. Shot will go wide off the backhand. Good burst of speed from number 28 in white. Burgess takes the pass from Carver. Over from McLean. He's out of the penalty box. Here comes Hunter McLean. He'll take a spill. We'll play on. There's McEachran. Up ahead, that'll be checked in the zone by White. Cole out to play it, couldn't get the puck on the boards. Tanner finds it up for Croft. Croft will rim it around the wall, picked off. Sent up through the middle of the ice. Here's Tremblay with it, over to Sparks. Sparks shot off the blocker. Nice save from Sorrento out the booming shot from Owen Sparks. Here's a pass over. McIntosh will chip it into the zone. Loose puck, Henry will get there first. Henry up the wall for Tremblay. Tremblay through the middle. That will bounce off the stick of Brian. Here comes Sparks, so flip it into the zone. That's going to be icing. That will be waved off. No icing. Sparks beats out McEachran for the loose puck. Here's Brian down low. Brian up top for Henry. Fakes the one-timer. Plays it in deep. Here's a shot towards the net. Tipped just wide as parked in front was Brian looking to redirect that one home for his second of the game. Sparks digs it loose. Play to the opposite corner. As McEachran takes a hit from Max Bryan. There's another hit behind the net. Sullivan and Sparks tangled up down low. Puck comes free behind the cage. Send to the line. Here's Henry. Out to McPhee. McPhee's shot will go wide, looking to get that through the screen in front as all three Supes players were parked in front of the net. Here's Tremblay looking to find Max Bryan. Couldn't feed the puck to him. Play to the line again. Here's a one-timer shot off the pad. Rebounds there! Sent just wide by Munden. Point-blank chance from Chase Munden, who's been a bit snake-bitten tonight. That's going to be played to the glove, and that will stop play off the hand pass. Great looks from the Subs inside the O-zone, looking to tie the game, but Jared Sorrento standing his ground. Will drop the puck right in front of the Steele Subaru bench. Green against Ryan. Just past the 6-minute mark of the third period. Here's Bircham. Plays it over. Cameron will fire that down inside the Sub zone. There's a pass in front as Green couldn't finish that one-timer off. There's Eisner looking for a loose puck. Ryan will play it off the wall. Hit on Munden. Here's Green. Sent over. Here comes Jack Cameron. Cameron, nice move under the zone. Another nice move in the backhand. Cameron towards the net. Scores! Are you kidding me, Jack Cameron? Can this kid play or what? Jack Cameron, another beautiful goal. Off the backhand, goes roof over Cole. This kid is unbelievable. You couldn't place that in a better spot, even if you tried. Jack Cameron goes backhand roof, and it's a 2-goal lead once more. Simply unbelievable. Jack Cameron has 2 tonight. It's a 2-goal lead for the Weeks. The crowd erupts here in Pictou County. Here's Smith's shot, will be stopped by Serrano. Rebounds there, cleared away. Here comes Frazier. Ethan Frazier has the puck, enters his zone on the near side. Shot will got the pad of Cole. Rebound collected down low, up top. Here is McCachran over to Sullivan. Sullivan's shot will go wide of the net. Rebound will bounce off the end wall. Frazier back in deep. Here's Conlon sent towards the slot. Nobody's home to bang that one in. That'll be cleared off the glass, and that will be icing. You can feel the energy lifting up after that Jack Cameron goal. Face off to the glove side of Cole. Puck is dropped. One back. Here's McKenzie. Shot off the stick. As the rebound is loose in the slot. Cleared away by the Subs. They need to get going here, and they're trying to tie this game here in the third period. As Carver takes a spill. Here come the Weeks Majors. McKenzie has it. Poked off the puck as that's going to be offside. So it looks like the Max closed out the series over in Port Hood. They won 6-3, so the Halifax Max, for I believe the 4th or 5th straight year, it's hard to keep up, have advanced to the Phil Herod Cup Finals. Seems like they're in the championship series every year. Here comes Brian, 2-on-1 with Tremblay. Brian shot, stopped by Serrano, no rebound. How about Jared Serrano's game? He let in 7 goals yesterday. He's having a great game so far, as the Subs have just taken over the shot lead, 22-21. Serrano, you knew he had to have a good game if the Weeks wanted to tie the series, and he's done just that so far. And out comes Jack Cameron back on the ice, who is on hat-trick watch after 2 highlight reel goals tonight. Ryan against Sim for the face-off. One back, Tremblay hesitates. Play to the line for McPhee. McPhee's shot off the pad. Rebounds there, covered up by Serrano. And there's another scrum in front. Weeks coming to the defense of their netminders. There was a few jabs looking for that loose puck. Face-off will be inside the weak zone once again. Brian against Sim. This has been the face-off matchup all night long. Puck dropped. Scrum draw comes free. Here comes Jack Cameron with the puck. Cameron, with 2 tonight, will flick it towards the zone. Comes free for Conlon. Sent across towards the slot. As that will be freed up. Sim got his stick lifted. Here's Max Bryan the other way. Bryan drops it at the line. Pass across for Tremblay. Shot! That will go over the net. Beautiful setup on the zone entry. Sparks of a great pass to find Travis Tremblay. Couldn't finish it off. Serrano might have got a piece of it, but that one went over the net. There's McPhee. Hallerson McPhee will shield the puck of his body around the net. Sent up ahead. That will be out of the reach of Tremblay, and that will be icing. Approaching the halfway mark of the third. It's a 2-goal game here in Pictou County, and what a game it has been, folks. Jack Cameron has 2 of the 4 Weeks Majors goals, and they have been beautiful, unbelievable shots. Kidd will take the face-off inside of the Sub zone off the icing. Brian and his line forced to stay out there for this draw, as they'll pump fake the face-off. And they will kick out nobody. Brian will head back into the dot. Puck is dropped. One to the wall. Croft gets tangled up. That'll be chipped out of the zone. Williams plays over to McKenzie. Subs are changing as we're inside the final 11 minutes of the period. Here is Henry off the glass. Picked up by Sam Ryan. He'll nudge it ahead for McQueen. McQueen will play it in deep, but Williams will send it back outside the zone. Puck comes free at the turnover. Croft will play it back towards the Subs end. Here's Oliver Scotland back to retrieve it. Scotland will go through the middle for Ryan. He'll chip it off the wall. Munden finds McQueen. McQueen gets taken down with a hit. There's McKenzie off the glass looking for Swain. That'll be picked off by Scotland, who will throw it up and high. That'll be gloved down out of midair as the Weeks are offside, forced to retreat. That'll be played outside the blue line, played back in deep. Here's Kidd. Nate Kidd shot will go off the skate of Normore in front. Chance the other way. Here comes McQueen over to Munden. Chase Munden has the puck. Munden shot off the pad. Rebound there. McQueen couldn't get the shot off. McKenzie got his stick. Here's Normore. Shot through the screen. Rebound off the pad into the corner. And that will be cleared to neutral ice. We're past the halfway mark of the period. Oliver Scotland out of his own zone will find McQueen. Ryder McQueen will play it inside the Week's end. Picked off by McEachran. He'll go off the boards. He finds Pugsley. Leaves it for White. Intercepted. McEachran gets it right back. McEachran up the wall. That will make its way down the ice. And that will be an icing call, which will take us to the halfway point and our break up here in the booth. If I were you, I wouldn't go away anytime soon. It's a 2-goal game here in the third. We'll be back after the intermission. Welcome back to Pictou County. It's a 2-goal game halfway through the third period. Weeks have the lead. There's a shot off the face-off as that will be off his shin pad. Play to the wall. Chance for the Weeks to clear. That will just escape the zone. Here comes White. He'll play it in deep. Duffy last man back to retrieve the puck. He'll go up for Smith. Brendan Smith has it on his stick. He'll fire it in deep in the opposite corner. McEachran back to retrieve it. He'll advance the puck. Puck will be kept in by the Subs. Here's Carver. Carver for Smith. That will deflect on goal. Sorrento makes a save once more. Just inside the final 9 minutes now. Subs are pressing hard, looking to cut the lead to 1. Brian, Tremblay, and Sparks back out there for this ozone face-off. Puck is dropped. Scrum face-off comes free, sent toward the net, and Sorrento will calmly cover things up once again. Jack Cameron having a heck of a game. He just made his return from a long injury at the start of this series. It took him a bit to kind of get back to game speed, but he is definitely in good shape here. He's playing a heck of a game. Here's Tremblay down low for Brian. Shot will just go wide. As that will be kept in for a moment, eventually escapes the zone. Here's Alistair McPhee as McIntosh on the forward check. Comes free for White. White will drag and shoot one off the blocker of Cole. Comes free towards the slot. Pugsley has it. Pugsley plays it back towards the corner. has Sparks on him. Will take a hit from Sparks. Sent on goal. Save made. Here's Tremblay. Plays it over to Max Bryan. Bryan up through the middle looking for Henry. That's going to be picked off. Bryan gets it right back. As that will make its way inside the Weeks end. But the Subs are offside. Couldn't go get the puck. That's going to be flicked up and high. And that should be an icing, but it wasn't. Here's Henry. Then Henry loses the puck as Eisner gets a piece of it. Scotland there to pick it up. Henry gets it back from Scotland and over to Munden. That will bounce off of his stick. Here's McKenzie. Over to Lawrence Williams. Williams has his head up ice looking for an option. Williams gets the red line. Still has the puck. Williams out of the corner. Shot towards the goal will go wide of the net. Ryan there to pick up the rebound. Here comes Sam Ryan looking to find McQueen. Bursting through center. That's going to be intercepted and sent in deep. McQueen takes a hit. There's another pass off the stick of McQueen. Puck is bouncing inside the weak zone. McKenzie back to retrieve it. He'll go up the wall. Kept in. It's a shot that will go off and stick him wide. Munden will turn it over. Here come the Weeks Majors. There's a hit on Pugsley from Scotland. Very physical series, of course, so far, and especially this game. As that will be sent in deep by Sam Ryan. He'll take a hit after dumping it in. Here is Pugsley. Over. Watch out there as Carver went for the puck, but could have nailed Frazier, who wasn't looking. Nice toe drag move. Here's a shot. Glove down. Rebound was there, but cleared away. Nice toe drag from Pugsley. Almost made it 5-2. Chance of the way. Here's Carver. As that will make its way off the stick of Burgess. And that will be played to the line. There's a shot from distance. Save made off the stick of Sorrento. Off the point shot from Quinton Land. 6.5 to go here in period number 3 and game number 4. Here's Frazier. Saucer across, finds Ewan Sim. Sim looking to go through the legs of Land. That will go off of his skate. That will be sent down the ice. Sorrento out to play it. He'll go forehand after faking backhand. Kept in by Smith. Smith up ahead for Carver. Comes free. Here's Sim. Pokes it up ahead for Conlon. Sent towards the opposite direction off the turnover. That will be dumped in. 6 minutes to go now here in the third. Here is Sorrento. Over to Jack Cameron. Cameron will flick it through the center of the ice. Comes free. Great bounce for Sim. Sim over to Conlon. That will deflect over the net. Good look there for Conlon and Sim. Here's Henry. He'll play it back in behind the net for Alistair McPhee. McPhee skates the puck to the red line. Still has it. Looking to dump it in. He will. Here's Sullivan. Sullivan has Sparks on the forward check. Turns it over. There's a pass in front. Picked off. Kept in. Here's McPhee down low for Tremblay. Sent toward the net. That will skim past the crease as Sparks will play it in deep. Sullivan gets tangled up down low. Subs looking to get that pass from behind the net to the high slot. Here's McPhee pinching through. That will go off the side of the cage and bounce its way off the glass. Stays in bounds. 5 minutes to go now here in the third. A very fast third period. Here comes Cameron. Shot from the center ice line will be gloved down by Cole. He'll leave it for Henry. Weeks are changing. Stretch pass picked off. Great defensive play by McKenzie. He finds Croft. Croft through the middle. Looking for a kid stricken towards the goal. That will bounce over his stick off the backhand. Here come the Subs as Williams collects it, neutral ice. He'll dump it right on net and scores! Will Cole did not see that one. Lawrence Williams from the blue line finds the back of the net. Weeks have a bit more insurance here late in the third. Great awareness from Williams to recognize that Cole was screened in front. Shot that puck along the ice through the 5-hole, and is a 5-2 score. And after all the beautiful goals that were scored in this game, that one wasn't as nice. But they don't ask how. They ask how many is scored. As that'll be played to the blue line. Here's McQueen. That'll be dumped in the Sub zone. Pass up for McQueen. McQueen takes a hit from McIntosh. It's a 3-goal lead for the Weeks. 4 minutes to go in the third. Looking to tie the series here at home and send the game back, or the series back to Dartmouth, all tied up. Here's Normore through the middle as Munden plays it back for Normore. Normore will send it back in around the wall. As there's a hit on the boards, pass in front for Munden. Chase Munden drops it, shot, stop made by Sorrento. Munden found Ryan in front. Another big stop from Sorrento. He's been very sharp in this third period and in the game overall as well. 3:37 on the clock here at the Pictou County Wellness Center. Lawrence Williams off a fluky goal just made it 5-2. McDonald will take the face-off against Ewan Sim inside the weak zone. Puck drop, one back to the line. Here's Land. Land shot will be blocked on its way through. Rebound cleared away. Here's Sim. Up for Conlon, that'll be played back in deep by the Subs. That was Land. There's a hit from Turner. On the forward check, I haven't seen many shifts from Tristan Turner. He apparently has been battling injuries all season long. He's out there late in the third period with McLean and McDonald. There's Burcham. Burcham over to McEachran. McEachran plays it back for Burcham. Here's Nick Burcham through center. Will let a shot go. That's going to be gloved down by Cole. Here's Land. Puck finds McLean. There's McLean. Makes a nice move. McLean will get knocked off the puck. Burcham takes over. Here's Nick Burcham. Sent it over across, and that will be chipped into the zone by Conlon. Here's Alistair McPhee with the puck. McPhee will work it through center and send it in deep at the red line. That'll make its way past Tika Sorrento, trying to play the puck. 2.5 to go in the third. It's a 3-goal lead for the Weeks. Here's Henry. He'll play it back towards the Weeks end, up the dump in, up the body of the linesman. DD pass, finds Sullivan. Sullivan will have that puck bounce off his stick and out of play. 2:12 to go here in the third. 3-goal lead for the Weeks Majors here in Pictou County. Shots are 29-27 in favor of the Subs, but they are down by 3. Sorrento had himself a game so far tonight. Here's Williams, sent over. McKenzie plays it up ahead. It'll bounce off the stick of Pugsley, sent back in deep. Here's Williams, back for McKenzie, back for Williams. Williams looking up ice. We'll get the red line and send it in deep. You got to think that's the plan for the Weeks here at this point of the game. Dump and chase and kill the clock. Here's Burgess. We'll play it over for Carver. Here's Calvin Carver. So get disrupted up trying to enter the zone. There's a collision along the wall on the far side. 1.5 to go in period number 3. There's McKenzie over to Williams on the D-to-D. Williams will once again get the red line and send it in deep. Here's Cole out to play it. Leaves it for Henry. Henry over for Munden. Here comes Chase Munden with the puck. Takes it wide on the far side. Munden streaking towards the goal. Centering pass will be deflected. Great defensive stick by the Weeks. They've been doing a great job of defending their own net. As player taken down, that's going to be a penalty against the Subs as we are inside the final minute of play regulation. Things go from bad to worse for the Steele Subaru. Holding will be the indication from the referee. Owen Sparks is the penalized player. Full head of the box. Another chance for this week's power play. They've been great so far tonight. Sim, Williams, Conlon, Frazier, and of course Jack Cameron out there with his power play. As that will be immediately cleared down the ice. Jack Cameron collects the puck. 45 seconds to go. There's a pass through center, finds Williams. Williams will let a shot go off the rush, goes wide. Williams has it again. 30 seconds to go. Sim down low looking for Conlon. Comes free. Here's Cameron. 20 seconds to go here in game number 4. Williams takes the pass. Williams back for Cameron. Jack Cameron will backpedal back towards the blue line. Cameron holding on to it will walk in and shoot one on. Blocker saved by Cole. As that was a good look there for Cameron to get the hat trick. But that's going to do it here for game number 4. And we're heading back to Dartmouth. The dark side. Series tied 2-2. Five to 2 will be your final score in game number 4. Game 5 will be at the Zatzman Sportsplex on Friday night. What a game tonight. Jack Cameron leads the charge with 2 unbelievable, beautiful highlight reel goals. As this great series continues on. And that will do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Mason Denike with High Button Sports. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. As we'll say sayonara from the Pictou County Wellness Center. 5-2 is the final. Series is tied 2-2 heading into game 5 on Friday in Dartmouth. Until then, thanks again. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody.